Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Robbins, let me start by saying thank you to all the men and women of ICE, to the law enforcement officers who risk their lives each and every day. I want to apologize to the men and women of ICE for the vilification, for the demonization that happens every day in our political discourse and that sadly happens from far too many politicians in this town who abuse law enforcement officers who are keeping us safe. I have been blessed to get to know and to work with ICE officers, Border Patrol officers, and these are agents who are risking their lives every day. Our communities are safer because of them. I have to say, when I'm at home in Texas, Texans are angry about this discussion, about this political farce that we're seeing. Some of our Democratic colleagues have asked you questions. Well, isn't it true that some of the illegal aliens that sanctuary cities are releasing are nonviolent? You answered with the rather obvious answer of yes, some of them are nonviolent. Let me ask you the other side of it. Are sanctuary cities releasing violent murderers?
Yes.
Are sanctuary cities releasing rapists?
Yes.
Are sanctuary cities releasing people who have committed child molestation?
Yes.
Are sanctuary cities releasing people who are guilty of domestic violence?
Yes.
Are they releasing people who have committed drunk driving offenses?
Yes.
When I listen to Democratic colleagues saying, well, no, this is all about some grandmother in Chicago. No, this is not about a grandmother in Chicago. I've talked to too many Texans and too many people across this country who've lost their children in murders from illegal aliens who were in jail until Democratic politicians release them, violent criminals, into our community. And it is wrong to play these political games releasing murderers. This committee heard testimony from Kate Steinle's family. Kate Steinle's family Kate Steinle was a beautiful 28-year-old California woman who was murdered on a pier in Northern California by an illegal alien who had been in and out of prison over and over and over again. And had been deported over and over and over again, and our revolving door system kept letting him go. Kate Steinle's father, who I've visited with, held his daughter in his arms as she cried out, "Daddy, please save me." Every one of us who has kids, what a nightmare, and the thing that is frustrating, that was utterly and completely preventable. Politics killed her. Political posturing killed her. And by the way, for every Democratic senator who says, well, no, we're all for stopping violent criminals. Well, you know what? There's an easy solution. Kate's Law, which I'm the author of in this body. Kate's Law says violent criminal illegal aliens, aggravated felons, if they enter illegally a second time, will face a mandatory minimum prison sentence. If you get outside of the fantasy land that is Washington, D.C., an overwhelming supermajority of Americans support Kate's Law. That's true of Republicans, of Democrats, of Libertarians, of Independents. Kate's Law is common sense legislation. I'll tell you what, the Senate has voted on Kate's Law. Every Democratic member of the current Senate that was here voted against Kate's Law, against targeting not the grandmothers. We're not talking about the grandmothers. We're talking our sanctuary cities releasing gang members.
Yes.
MS-13 members.
Yes.
And yet, because of politics, Senate Democrats will not stand together to stop it. You want to do something meaningful? Let's pass Kate's Law 100-0. I have town halls where Texans ask, what on earth is wrong with you people when you have an MS-13 member who's a murderer, and yet a local Democratic law enforcement official says, let's release them instead of deporting them, or even better, incarcerating them as Kate's Law would provide. That is wrong. And let me thank Senator Tillis for introducing his legislation. I'm a co-sponsor of Senator Tillis's legislation to say, look, if you're an American and your family is injured by an illegal alien that has been wrongfully released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, you ought to be able to sue that jurisdiction. And don't come to me with a bunch of legal gobbledygook about how we're immune from suit while we're releasing murderers that are terrorizing our communities. That's something else we ought to do, is take up and pass Senator Tillis's legislation. So I want to say to the witnesses here, thank you for your testimony. Thank you for your hard work to keep us safe. Thank you for the officer tonight who's out on the line, who's knocking on that door of an MS-13 agent, who doesn't know if he's going to meet a machine gun on the other side of that door, a machete. Doesn't know what he's going to face, but he or she is going through that door to keep us safe. Thank you for that. And I get we have political differences. Fine, let's have debates about what the top marginal tax rate should be. That's a great debate. But it shouldn't be a debate whether we're releasing murderers in our communities. The answer for all of us, Democrat and Republican, ought to be hell no. We're not going to release violent murderers who are illegal aliens into our communities, and yet we've got sanctuary jurisdictions all across the country who are willing to do so. Thank you.
Thank you.